This is a really good question. Why didn't the machines work anymore? So, and she's talking, if you haven't seen the other video, she's talking about time machines. Because I've gotten lots of channels now that the deletes are using time manipulation and have been for a while here. And that's why we're in the pickle and the jam that we're in right now. And a lot of people thought about this too, because they were like, clearly, like, Trump and Elon Musk came out and literally admitted to stealing the election, basically. So, I've always wondered, like, how the hell they were able to do that. And it's time machines. And so there's alien intervention. That's why they're not able to use the time machines anymore. So this is what happened. And this is what I've been told. I'm a psychic medium. So this is what I've been channeled to me. And this is recent as well. What's happening is open contact is going to be occurring here in a few years. I don't know if you've listened to Bashar or any other type of channelers. Emily H. Eaton also talks about this. I'm one of the main ones that talk about this. But open contact is going to be occurring in the year 2027. People have been talking about this for many, many years now. And David Wilcock talked about this. There's all the UFO researchers, talk about it basically. Open contact is going to be occurring, okay? And so, like, I didn't know why open contact was occurring. I just heard for years it was going to be occurring. Then I got into Dolores Cannon and New Earth and her theories and stuff like that. And then I got my own psychic downloads. And so basically, and this took years, years of, like, listening to this information and all this stuff. New Earth is happening. And it's going to be enforced by aliens. And they're actually not technically aliens because, well, they are to us. And we refer to them as aliens because they're just in a different body than us. Like, that's what I refer to as an alien. Anybody that's in a different type of dimension or body than a human in this dimension. You know what I'm saying? That's technically what an alien is. But they're humans from the future. So they're really not aliens. They're not interdimensional beings or extra dimensional beings. What Amy Eskridge called it was ultra dimensional beings. Is like the same, it's us just in a different dimension, where extraterrestrial is potentially us from other planetary systems. And so, because when we exist outside of Earth, time is simultaneous. Time is occurring at the exact same time. So our souls and our brains are incarnated in multiple planets or multiple dimensions even at the same time when we're outside of Earth, which again has been one of the hardest concepts for me to really anchor into. But after a year now of being told about simultaneous time, I kind of understand it a lot better now. And that's just hard to conceptualize, that because there's like certain things that we agree to experience down here, and one of those things is linear time. That's an Earth experience. So is physical matter, so is gravity, so is linear time. I think I just said that though. Did I say linear time already? Linear time is another thing that we agree to experience. Because we don't experience when we're outside of here. So that's the whole point of coming to Earth, is experience. And contrast is another one of those things. Being scared, all this shit is another 333 on the clock as I say this. So basically, the aliens had to come back in time and see what was going on, because something goes on in their dimension that starts to collapse it. And they have time, they're advanced. They're the advanced incarnation of us. And so they come back in time, and they have to contact our government. And they quickly realize that they're going to have to give over all their advanced equipment to these deletes who are running this world. Because the only way they can come back in time and start seeding our subconscious, because they've been seeding our subconscious with like all these childhood movies, all these like subliminal messages, like through TV shows, through childhood movies, through all books, all sorts of stuff like that, to seed into our subconscious of this time coming, and that like good is gonna overcome evil. That was like a lot of our childhood movies, is how good overcame evil, like Bug's Life, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Spirited Away. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of movies of good, prevailing over evil. And that was for this time right now. And so they realized they have to give this advanced machinery to the deletes, and they knew that they were going to start messing with time because of that. But they still had to give it over because they could not tell them what they were doing, because then the deletes would not do it. They wouldn't have given us all this advanced technology that the aliens have been giving us for many, many years now. They've been giving us advanced technology since the 50s with TVs and all that. That all comes from the future aliens. And I've just recently been told this. So again, if this doesn't resonate with you, don't worry, but this is just what I've been told. And so what they had to do was they had to allow things to occur up to a certain point, as far as like they really couldn't intervene with like trauma. They couldn't like stop like what these deletes were doing. They couldn't stop the trafficking. They couldn't stop the genocides that occurred. They couldn't stop the exploitation that they have put onto all of us, because they're in the future. So they are doing all this timeline work right now. So they've been doing a ton of timeline work. Like, that's their entire incarnation, basically, is what I'm being told. It took them like 40 to 70 Earth years to fix the timelines. It took them almost the exact amount of time that it did to seed the timelines to start, because they've been seeding the timeline since, again, the 50s. So it's been almost 100 years that they've been doing this. It's taken them, the duration of time that it's taken them to, from the time they started to now, right, in the 50s, so that says 75 years. That's how long it took in their dimension to fix the timelines also, as well. And so they've been, like, working their whole lives fixing these timelines. Like, it's taken them so long to fix the timelines that they came back and saw that they are the ones who actually caused it. They're actually the ones who caused the timeline manipulation. But then they realize it's like an ascension situation. That's why, because they feel horrible. They're like, why the fuck would we like give these people this advanced technology? Is there any way we can not do this? But no, because we're in a very special ascension period right now. So this doesn't occur on the planet that often. It's every 26,000 years. And with ascension, there's this deep level of polarity, because we're in like the worst parts of hell. Because there's 2 cycles on Earth: ascension and descension. And we ascend, right now we're in the worst parts of the descension. We're in the last little parts of it. Then we're about to ascend into 13,000 years of peace. And this is what the Bible manipulated. They told you it was one man in 3 days. It was millions of men and women. And it was like almost 100 years that it takes to try to do this shit. So, yeah, so basically, they had to allow things to occur to a certain point, but we've reached that point now, where no more. Like, we've gotten all the negative, like, because what that contrast did was it served as awakening for a lot of us. We had to see the brokenness of this society, unfortunately, for a lot of us to awaken, and that's what awoken me. Like, it was my trauma, really. I had compounded trauma that, like, forced me to try to find answers outside of what I was getting in this reality. I was like, this reality, the answers that they're giving me are adding up. And that was usually that things were my fault. But I got blamed by everybody and everything. I got scapegoated by literally anything I've ever attempted in my life: friendship, love, family, jobs. I've been scapegoated. So I'm like, you guys can't keep telling me that it's my fault. So I gotta figure something else out. After like 25 years, I was like, no, there's gotta be a different narrative here, because I'm like, bro, I understand that I like make mistakes and I'm like not the most perfect person in the world, but like I'm a really, really good person, and I don't understand like why my life is so horrible. This is why, because I was being trained. I was being trained on discernment of my own energy, and also like how to deal with people who have like fried nervous systems and who are younger souls. Like, that's what a lot of us neurodivergents unfortunately subjected ourselves to, or a lot of people who've been through trauma, we subjected ourselves to that level of trauma and darkness so we could teach people. And like, now our whole purposes, our whole lives are going to be telling people why this society didn't work and where it failed us, basically. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next 100 years, is discussing why this society went so terrible, what the fuck happened. They're going to tell us about this stuff too, the time machines and stuff. That's also a big part of it. And then we're going to move into the future, and we're going to shift society to be fair, just, and equal for everybody. So that's the plan. And that's why, again, their machines aren't working, because their time is up. Like, they're like, the aliens cut their supply. Like, they're like, nope, you're done. Now it's our turn. Now the good aliens are going to come and, do that kind of stuff. It's always been good aliens that they've been in contact with, I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they were contacted with like other dimensions. I don't know though. That's we're gonna find out the truth of that. So anyway, this is what I'm getting about it. This is kind of a complicated answer, But, yeah, this is why.